This man is too ruthless. Pick up the girl at the slightest disagreement, pounce like a fierce wolf, staring at him greedily. Just think like a girl thinks there's no truth. The man gave him a heavy slap. Afterwards, the man drank Maodai with ease. The girl's heart was as lifeless as ashes. I don't want to continue enduring humiliation and suffering. So he quickly walked behind the man, picking up the wine bottle. The man was knocked unconscious on the spot. The girl quickly took off the rope, hold the man tightly. Less than an hour, the man finally passed away. The girl put in a bag. Then he dragged the heavy body to the utility room, put the body in the refrigerator. The girl returned to the room, dancing happily. I thought I had escaped from the tiger's mouth. The next morning, the girl woke up from the sofa. When preparing to wash up, surprisingly, I heard my boyfriend's voice. The girl turned around in surprise. I found my boyfriend standing at the door. Asked her intimately. She looked bewildered. Didn't my boyfriend get killed by himself? Xiaomei thinks this must be his soul, so he reached out his left hand to touch it, see if it a physical entity. Instead, he was touched by his boyfriend first, so I also saw the scar on his neck. Xiaomei was scared out of her wits, hurriedly running out of the house, encountering neighbors talking to me. Before Xiaomei could speak, my boyfriend Dazhuang followed from behind. The neighbor quickly asked Dazhuang to go to her room to fix the broken faucet. Xiaomei took this opportunity to quickly run to the utility room to check the refrigerator. I found my boyfriend's body lying here unharmed. Xiaomei is even more confused. Who exactly is the person in front of me who looks like my boyfriend? She wants to kill her boyfriend again, but she knew that killing the resurrected demon again would be futile. So in the middle of the night, Xiaomei came to the utility room, cut off your boyfriend's flesh, made delicious meat patties. I want my resurrected boyfriend to eat it this way. We won't die and come back to life again. Sister-in-law Dazhuang told Xiaomei she's going out to look for a job, and he said he would be a qualified boyfriend. But Xiaomei doesn't believe her words at all, believing that one's true nature will soon be revealed. Just as Dazhuang went out, Xiaomei handed over the meat patties she had made. Dazhuang happily took it over. I also smelled it and praised her for her excellent craftsmanship. Then he went out the door. Strangely enough, Dazhuang opened the lunchbox, a wicked smile from the mouth. Then he turned around and threw it away. Dazhuang returned home happily at night. I handed over the lunchbox to Xiaomei. He also told her that the food was really delicious. I've already finished eating everything. Xiaomei opened the food box and confirmed that she had finished eating before letting go of her guard. At night, Xiaomei fell asleep on the sofa. I remember my release from prison with Dazhuang. On a day a few months ago, he came into a cake shop. I wanted to buy a cake to celebrate, but unexpectedly bumped into the big cake. The two of them met Dazhuang by chance. That day is also her birthday, and also invited Xiaomei to participate together. Xiaomei agreed at first sight. The two of them kept going back and forth like this, slowly becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. We lived together for 6 months. But just last week, Dazhuang seems to have changed into a different person. She is like a demon, crazy for domestic violence occurs every day. Xiaomei tortured Xiaomei to death. That's because Xiaomei couldn't bear to humiliate this week's experience. She just killed Dazhuang. At this point, Dazhuang looked at his sleeping girlfriend. He ran to the door of the miscellaneous room where the body was being shaken and pushed it with his hand. But I can't open it no matter what. Then Dazhuang laughed wildly, vigorously shaking the gate. Xiaomei inside the room was awakened by the piercing sound. When he came outside to take a look, I was stunned by the scene in front of me. Hurry up and call Dazhuang. Dazhuang ran over upon hearing the sound. Xiaomei questioned her what she was doing. Dazhuang said there were screams inside and said a chilling sentence. The girl covered herself with a white cloth and held down the rabbit doll. Suddenly received a phone call. Xiaomei hurriedly left, but I forgot to lock the door to the utility room. She hasn't been exchanging pleasantries with her mother for long. Suddenly remembered that I didn't lock the door to the utility room when I left. So he hurried home, returning to the utility room. After Xiaomei saw the rabbit doll, she panicked. Dazhuang has already been here. Because the position where I placed the doll was clearly facing the wall, Xiaomei quickly locked the door. Returning to the living room, I saw that Dazhuang had already prepared a sumptuous table of food. Dazhuang told Xiaomei her boss will come over for dinner. During meals, Dazhuang told the boss that today's main dish is stewed rice meat dumplings with milk, and they said it was made with their own fresh meat. Xiaomei immediately thought of some cruel scenes. After the boss left, Dazhuang noticed that Xiaomei had not started using chopsticks for a long time. I want to personally feed her, but Xiaomei couldn't open her mouth no matter what, so Dazhuang had to eat rice meat dumplings himself. I was so scared that Xiaomei almost vomited out tomorrow's food. At this moment, Dazhuang said something big. Which one is good? Dazhuang shouted for him to hand over the key to the corpse hiding room. Xiaomei was scared when she heard this. Faced with 3-second grandeur, Xiaomei has no choice but to, I had no choice but to obediently comply. But just as Dazhuang walked in, Xiaomei suddenly pushed him away. Quickly close the door, lock yourself inside. Even with all his might, the great warrior couldn't break through. I had to go back inside first. However, as the camera rotates, an FBL came knocking on the door. Tells Xiaomei's mother that her daughter is a habitual fraudster. It is advised to be cautious and take precautions. My mother was very worried about Xiaomei when she heard this. Just call her quickly. But the phone was hung up by Dazhuang in the room. My mother panicked at this glance. So he called his neighbor Mimi again. Let him go check on his daughter's condition. Mimi came to Xiaomei's house to ask for someone. Dazhuang lied to her that Xiaomei had gone out. And at this moment, Big, Beautiful, and Strange said something. What's really going on? The dog neighbor speculated that Dazhuang had exchanged identities with the twins. Let's scare Xiaomei together. He asked Dazhuang again. Big Brother's cat the public responded with a fierce and foolish answer. Nasco Ross, his death. However, at this moment, Xiaomei picked up an 18-meter pig slaughtering knife from outside. Angry, rushed in, facing Dazhuang tightly. Under Xiaomei's slight pressure, Dazhuang finally revealed the truth. It turns out that Dazhuang really has a brother. His name is Dazhuang. Dazhuang is Xiaomei's true boyfriend. Recently, he insisted on competing with Dazhuang to go to the neighbor's house to fix the faucet. So the two of them had a conflict. Dazhuang was hit by Dazhuang and suffered concussion. Dazhuang naturally replaced Dazhuang as Xiaomei's object. And on the night when it was high and dark, the general is recovering from his injuries and has been discharged from the hospital. Upon returning home, I witnessed a heart-wrenching scene. Xiaomei unexpectedly dragged someone towards a smashing room. After Xiaomei leaves, driven by curiosity, Xiaoshui quietly ran over to take a look. Oh my goodness, isn't this my younger brother Dazhuang? Fortunately, Dazhuang only spent an hour helping Xiaomei. The last breath was also saved by the great general, who couldn't bear it in his heart. What the general never expected was that my younger brother not only failed to thank himself, however, he also killed himself in reverse. He was strangled alive by Dazhuang, then put in the fridge. Dazhuang is like this, unaware of the gods and ghosts, successful day stealing. And now Dazhuang has not acknowledged whether he is alive or dead. Forcefully claiming to be the handsome guy himself, Xiaomei looks at the same man she once loved. At this moment, she is deaf. But at this moment, suddenly, fortunately, the popular Bone song was surprised and only stabbed in the waist. No problem. On this day, a stranger approached his mother, prepared to extort heavily. You said your daughter is someone. The mother's face was covered with emotion as she walked away from the man, and the man just said he would come find her next time with evidence. After returning home, mother told her daughter about this matter. Xiaomei trusts her mother very much. He told the whole story. They took advantage of their strong recovery, so it was decided to completely destroy Jingdao. The mother and daughter started moving the body together. At this moment, Dazhuang quietly ran out to meet his accomplices. It turns out that Dazhuang is really a fraud thug. The idea of extorting Xiaomei's mother earlier was also given by him to his accomplices. My companion urged the public to find evidence of Xiaomei's murder as soon as possible. We need to make a big profit. The second day, Dazhuang took advantage of the absence of his mother and daughter. He kept flipping over the cabinet. See if you can find some clues. But it was not small and was seen by the Mimi. The Mimi just asked 3 difficult questions. Dazhuang is very depressed. Facing an 18-year-old girl, it's all fake that Xiaomei doesn't like her. The Mimi watched Xiaomei grow up. She told Dazhuang about Xiaomei's background. The man kicked away. Women use 1 punch, 2 punches, and 3 punches. The girl covered her temples in fear. The man fought for half an hour. After seeing the woman finally hang up, she sat anxiously on the side again. Daughter Xiaomei looked at her mother, who was receiving box meals. At this point, she could no longer tolerate her father's domestic violence. So he picked up an open water bottle, poured 105-degree boiling water on my father's head. Father passively shouted loudly. Xiaomei quickly pulled off the charger, tightly hold on to my father. In less than 2 hours, my father finally passed away. Subsequently, Xiaomei called the orphanage director for help. After the kind dean understood the situation, I decided to help Xiaomei destroy the body and wipe out the trace. We also cleaned up the scene of the incident, and willing to adopt Xiaomei as her goddaughter. Original. Xiaomei was originally a child from a single-parent family. When she was in elementary school, my mother remarried with her. She had this stepfather. But this stepfather is like a demon. Every day, my mother engages in domestic violence. So all the emotions she suppressed for years burst out. As the screen turns at night, companions came to Xiaomei's house to search for evidence. Open a low cellar plate. There are 2 bodies buried below. There's also a handsome one. At this moment, Xiaomei had just returned home. No equivalent partner extorts Xiaomei. She just